Just before the super blood wolf moon that was in the constellation of Leo the Lion, the royal emblem of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the lion was in the sky the night of the lunar eclipse. There's the cross that was formed during the January 27th Tu B'Shvat blood moon. Here you see when it rose from the bottom, it went up and it went across about the halfway point, and then when it went back this way and formed the cross that way. This way, and then this way. Just before the lunar eclipse, the blood moon of January 20th, 2019, we had the revelation that 50 years ago they found the signet ring of Pontius Pilate. There are many things in my book about the garden tomb, one of which talks about the iron peg that was left in the wall outside the door of the tomb, which was analyzed, and little iron filings were taken to see if they were ancient, and they are. I want to tell you something profound that the Lord revealed to me about that. Pontius Pilate told his Roman soldiers to go and set a seal at the tomb of Jesus, Yeshua. Go and set a seal and make the tomb as secure as you can. And here we have the garden tomb. This is from my book, Matthew 27:65. Pilate said unto them, Ye have a watch. Go your way. Make it as sure as ye can. So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. And the iron spike on page 233 of my book. In the British Museum, they have seal boxes that the Romans used, and they believe that this was a box that it's basically got two loops at the top where a post can go through, and they believe that it protected the seal. So it was like a lock box. In this picture of the iron spike at the garden tomb, I'm thinking that the seal box that had Pontius Pilate's seal in it, it was a lock box. The seal was inside of a Roman lock box called a seal box, which they have in the British Museum. And this piece might have been a piece connected to the portion of the seal box and was torn off when the angel rolled away the stone. Now this is a description of how these Roman lock boxes worked. This person said, you write the wax tablet, close it, and put a string around, all ends going through the holes of the box. You then tie it, pour melted wax inside, and press your ring against it. The box protects the seal but allows the inspection. The wax seal purpose is the same as the boxless ones. You cannot open the tablets without breaking either the string or the seal or both, thus making it clear that the message has been intercepted. And of course, this is the Pontius Pilate signet ring that would have made the seal impression at the garden tomb that would be put inside a Roman lock seal box to seal and secure the tomb by one of the high-ranking military officials of Pontius Pilate. And this picture, of course, was taken by the Israeli Antiquities Authority after they cleaned the ring. If the signet ring made the seal, it would be similar to having it show here. This one was unearthed by Sue and John in England, and this is the back half of the seal box. So Pontius Pilate's ring would have sealed in the wax seal and placed in a box similar, or a seal box similar to this. And this one is got the red enamel. A lot of them were enameled, apparently. This is a 2nd century Roman seal lockbox. It says one of the more unusual finds from Western Road was this small leaf-shaped copper alloy seal box with an enameled hinged lid, which had been placed in the grave of a middle-aged man in the 2nd century. Such a box would originally have protected a wax seal fixed to a document, but in this case may have been reused as a pendant. If Pontius Pilate's signet ring was impressed in the wax, creating the seal, and it was placed inside one of these Roman seal lock boxes, and we can see how at the garden tomb it would have been attached through this part right here. This is just an example. But this one, a lot of these Roman seal boxes have been unearthed in England where the Romans went. About the Pontius Pilate ring, they said that Pontius Pilate usually did not have his name. He didn't like to have his name on things. So this is an unusual ring. It's also a very simple ring and probably made fairly quickly, I would imagine. So what I'm revealing to you now is that I believe that that ring that was found of Pontius Pilate was given to one of his high-ranking officers, and he took it to the tomb and sealed it with that very ring, and the ring has the emblem of the wine, the chalice of wine. He sent out his high-ranking military officers to accomplish this task, to seal the tomb and set the seal. That means the seal was set in wax. Messiah is the 3rd cup in the Passover Seder. He told his disciples, "I will not drink of the fruit of the vine again until I drink it with you in the kingdom." That meant the wine that they were drinking at the Passover Seder. It's called the cup of redemption. What I think is interesting is that the glasses that I was wearing in my last video, somebody noticed that the centerpiece that was colored made the Greek letter pi, and that reminded them of Exodus and Egypt and all of that, the story of Exodus. So I just think it's interesting that the pi is the first letter of Pilate's ring. The signet ring that sealed the seal at Jesus' tomb, I believe, was that ring. And I'm revealing that now to the world, that this is what I believe it is. And it was hidden and not shown for 50 long years because it was discovered in 1969, only 2 years after Jerusalem was recaptured by Israel and taken into their possession. Go and set a seal and make the tomb as secure as you can. And so the soldiers obeyed Pontius Pilate. And the Lord revealed this to me. The ring of Pilate was found in Herodium, Herod's fortress, and they said that Pontius Pilate preferred to have Tiberius Caesar's name to stamp on his papyrus as his seal. So it was unusual that his name was on this particular ring. And I know the reason why would be for this reason, that he set his military men to secure that tomb with his name, showing the cup of redemption on the seal. You can see the word Tiberius along the edge right there. It's very close to the edge. You can see the wreath around his head and the Roman words. And on the reverse, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a very large S and D. Those are the mint markings. The super blood wolf moon exhibited the redemption by the blood of the Lamb, because the moon, for the first time of all the tetrad, this super blood wolf moon turned a true cherry red blood color for a very long time in the middle of the eclipse. Let me show you. My mother said, "We are redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, taken out of the hands of the enemy, and placed into the kingdom and hands of God." This is my mom's copy of my book, and she read through the whole thing. It's called The Almond Tree, Aaron's Rod, the Messiah, King of Israel. A message of revelation from the word of the God of Israel regarding the identity of the Messiah, the Davidic dynasty returns, by Kimberly K. Ballard. Dedicated it to Messiah Yeshua, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and gave a dedication to my mother while she was still living. Israel, do you have eyes to see and ears to hear that your king is coming and that he loves you? And like one of the rabbis said, that they needed to repent and believe, and the redemption would happen? Do it today and believe. God bless you. Look at all my bunnies that are getting seeds in the blizzard that we're having today.